Welcome to the St. Louis City tow lot, where some people say once a vehicle passes through these gates, you may never see it again.
You don't just lose vehicles.
James Mundy, a former commissioner at the city's tow lot, is just one of several employees who've reported suspicious activity to the city and to the IT.
Well, I believe the citizens of St. Louis are definitely being scammed.
According to Missouri policy, here's how the lot is supposed to operate. Once a vehicle is towed by the city, the owner has 30 days to get their car back by paying the required fees. If a car goes unclaimed, it can either go to public auction, be sold for parts, or get crushed. Regardless of what happens to it, the city is supposed to make money off every vehicle stored on the lot. Current and former employees we talk to say that's not happening.
They know how to go in there and change the numbers and the name.
This current tow lot employee asked us not to reveal her identity. She's worried about losing her job. She worked with the I-team to dissect hundreds of pages of tow lot records obtained through a Sunshine Law request. We found over an 11-month period in 2019, 155 cars on the lot were marked as redeemed, but with no money paid.
This is the total amount that the city was going to charge had the individual picked it up. You see down here, nothing was paid. It was redeemed, but it doesn't have the person it was redeemed to.
If our whistleblower is right, that's nearly $78,000 worth of tow and storage fees that the city missed out on. Car theft victims are the only people who can get their car back without a fee as long as it's done within a few days. Other than that,
Even a total vehicle, there are parts that are valuable. Yeah, no vehicle's going out there for free.
200, 225.
another set of records involves vehicles sold at auction. The records we looked at, there's no buyer listed.
You got to have a valid driver's license and ID to get these vehicles. Nothing's on there to show who it was sold to. They put a frivolous name on there. Some of the addresses have 9999 unknown.
If any of these allegations sound familiar, it's because various clouds of scandal have passed over the city's tow lot for years. Most recently, in 2019, the I-team uncovered this police report showing some cars were leaving the lot without the city seeing a dime.
It's a lot of people involved. And how many and how high up, I don't know.
State Senator Carla May says she's heard about mismanagement at the tow lot from several employees and a relative who once worked there. She urged the St. Louis mayor's office to investigate in 2019.
Cars were disappearing, set aside, held over, no money collected for the cars.
We brought all of these allegations to the man in charge, Commissioner of Streets, Kent Flake. Why are cars leaving the tow lot for free?
Cars should not be leaving city tow for free. All of 2020, we've been audited by both city and state. And to the best of my knowledge, in all of these, they've never found that.
The I-team is still waiting to see those audit reports. After the 2019 police investigation, Commissioner Flake says City Tow made several changes.
We went to a third-party auctioneer in fall of 19. Prior to that, the auction was ran by tow lot employees. We installed 3 more cameras. We built in several layers of, not necessarily management, but overseeing of positions.
Despite those upgrades, City Tow still does not have a manual of standard operating procedures.
We do have about 40 signs up on a wall with our work rules on them. We've been trying to get an actual work rule manual actually put together so there would be no question about it.
That police report we told you about from 2019, well, turns out that case is still open. Police couldn't give us any more details. If you've had a questionable experience with the city tow lot, we want to hear from you. Email me directly at prandawa@ksdk.com. For the I-team, PJ Randawa, 5 on your side. In some areas of St. Louis, once you park your car, it may not be there when you get back.
They said, "Is this your car? We've located it."
Norb Hart had no idea his car had been stolen from his Central West End home until police called and said they'd found it. They told him it was damaged and on its way to the St. Louis City tow lot.
I pleaded with the police not to tow the car. And when they said there wouldn't be any fee, I took that very skeptically.
A St. Louis City ordinance passed in 2017 makes it clear. Victims of car theft like Norb do not have to pay city tow fees if they pick up their vehicle within 72 hours of being notified by police. That's the law, but the I-Team found it's not always how City Tow operates.
They charge me $185. Said they didn't know anything about the car being stolen.
Thank you for calling this to our attention, because it's something I was very much unaware of.
We took Norb's story to the alderman who drafted that city ordinance, Joe Vaquero. He was surprised to hear about the glitch we'd uncovered and that Norb had been forced to pay for his own car.
The tow lot has no way or no ability to look up at whether or not it was a stolen car. That's the glitch.
Also complicating matters, under the ordinance, victims of theft must bring a police report to City Tow to get their vehicles back without a charge. Vaquero acknowledges getting a police report right now is difficult, to say the least.
You cannot walk into headquarters. It's shut down because of COVID. Plus, you have to pay for it. So we may have to adjust the ordinance to say if you're a victim of a crime, you should not have to pay for a police report.
While Vaquero plans to introduce another ordinance to address these oversights, Norb gave up on getting his money back.
So after several rounds of phone calls, I let it go. So it would have been like right here.
The city's director of operations confirms to the I-Team Norb will now be getting his money back. There were more than 2,400 cars reported stolen in St. Louis in 2020. There's no way to know how many of those ended up at City Tow or how many car theft victims had to pay to get their cars back.
There are other people out there that have been victimized twice, and we want to fix this.
Now, Norb did have his police report number, but says City Tow still wasn't able to find his police report and release his car for free. Despite all of this, the city's director of operations tells us there's no issue with the City Tow system. If you've had a questionable experience with the City Tow lot, we want to hear from you. Email me directly at prandawa@ksdk.com. For the I-Team, PJ Randawa, 5 on your side. Last month, Jasmine Hollins made a quick stop for some water. It ended up costing her a lot more than a few bucks.
Literally 3 minutes later, my car was gone.
She'd had her 2019 Chevy Malibu for just over a month.
I lost my title and registration. Everything was inside my purse.
She filed a police report, and 2 weeks later, her parents were contacted by the St. Louis City Tow lot. They had her car, but they wouldn't release it to her.
They said I needed a title and to pay my sales tax, but I couldn't pay anything without the title, which was inside the car when it got stolen.
Even Don Brown Chevrolet, who sold Jasmine the car, stepped in to provide sales documents to the tow lot, proving Jasmine owned the car.
It's just another dead end. They would not take any information from her. They would not take any information from us.
450.
Jasmine soon learned her new car was to be auctioned off. She says at least one City Tow employee wanted it for themselves.
They even showed me my car and they was like, oh, it's a nice car. It doesn't look like anything is wrong with it. If you don't come get it by March 4th, they're going to auction it off and I might get it.
This one bothers me because, again, we got a young lady, single mom, trying to do the right thing.
Alderman Joe Vaquero learned what was happening and tried to help. In 2017, Vaquero created the city ordinance that allows car theft victims to get their vehicles back from City Tow without a charge within a few days.
This isn't like it was towed for parking tags. Let me be clear, this was a stolen car. She was a victim of a crime. They wouldn't let her insurance company get it out because they're saying, no, we want a title. Even though they know it's impossible.
What the tow lot was demanding isn't exactly backed up by city code. The I-Team looked at the St. Louis City Code for redeeming an impounded vehicle and found the rules don't say anything about having a title, just proof of ownership.
I'll mention was Todd Walterman, the mayor's chief of operations, is saying, look, if we do it for her, then we got to do it for everybody. After
weeks of going back and forth with the tow lot, Jasmine's lien holder got the car out. Now she's on the hook for a $950 storage and tow bill she has to pay before she gets her car back.
On top of, I currently have a rental, so I have to eat that cost as well. I feel like there's ways around it that they could have helped, especially knowing that I didn't have the title. That was the biggest thing.
Todd Walterman, the city's director of operations, tells me they couldn't release Jasmine's car because they only had proof that she bought it, not proof that she still owned it. He also says if Jasmine wanted to avoid that $900 tow bill, she should have gotten her lien holder involved sooner. Well, Jasmine tells me that was one of the first calls she made when her car was stolen. And she says initially they told her there was nothing they could do. For the I-Team, PJ Randhawa, 5 on your side.